Okay, I hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Let's get this party started, I guess. Just in time. What's the subject? Uh, Whatever the fuck we want, really.
Okie dokie. How's your day going, Joe?
I am beyond exhausted, so it's probably gonna be a shorter stream tonight. I'm thinking like half an hour, just because. Well, I've been up since 5 a.m. and I am wiped.
Ooh,
Yeah, yeah. My kid shit herself awake at 5 a.m. in the morning. That was certainly pleasant.
ouch.
Yeah, it is what it is. She's only 15 months old.
Uh,
What can you expect, right? So I'm thinking tonight I'm just gonna ramble on about, let's see, what was it here? Was that one that Iron Giant said their organization in sci-fi? Yeah. Why is he muted?
I was futzing with my voice, so I wasn't on um, auto on off. I was on push.
Gotcha. Push to connect.
And I have to mess with it because I've put it on the button that is basically the go back tab thing for Discord.
ooh.
Oh, rookie mistake. Not a big deal. Anywho, so I think I'm going to ramble on about some different organizations in sci fi that I think are both good and bad, but might be the most realistic that we might see in the near future. And I will start with the one that is the least likely, which would be the Federation. Holy crap. Where to even start on the Federation? United Federation of Planets. Whew. Well, let's see. They masquerade as a hippy dippy United Nations group, well, basically actively committing war crimes all over the place. Let's see, we got Ben Cisco freaking dropping, what's it called there? Uh, oh, what was it? Those trilithium bombs on that planet for the Maquis. And, basically turned an entire planet uninhabitable just to fucking piss off a bunch of separatists. That's gotta be a war crime.
We're back.
And then there was what was it? The weapons of mass destruction that Janeway gave to the Borg just to exterminate a species. Like, holy Christ.
Well, I think it's funny because the the Federation acts like it's so nice and everything, and it's like war crime. Woohoo!
Yeah, that's a little bit, yeah, when you really poke at it, they are pretty freaking brutal. Like, Jesus Christ.
I I may have made a mistake.
You may have made a misstep there, Iron Giant. You may need to remap them
because
keys.
because what I meant was like unit organization.
Oh, unit organization. Well,
Like I have the big BN copy of Hammer Slammers here, Volume One, which happens to have the Order of Battle for the Regiment.
okay, well, rattle it off, man. I'm not overly familiar with Hammer Slammers, or you have to forgive me. I am a little bit inebriated, but Hammers Slammers. Rattle it off for me, dude.
Uh, Hover tanks, like fan-driven hover tanks. So yeah, no, same principle as a hovercraft. Headquarters Battalion, which is, except for artillery replacements, all support elements within the group or within the HQ. I'm not going to read the most of these because they're rather irrelevant to the combat, but headquarters company, maintenance, communications, medical supply, all the usual stuff one would expect for the battalion trains, intelligence, transport, combat engineers, and in the very weirdness, recreation, also known as field brothel.
Really? I think I might like this sci-fi
Yes,
series.
I believe the opening to this book, Hammer Complete Volume 1, it's this new kid who's just joining up with the regiment, and he's waiting at the port, and essentially they come to pick him up in like their version of a combat car, which is this hover car with 3 machine guns on it. And what they are picking up at the port along with this kid is essentially a, a crate of whores, which is because the entertainment may be a spy if it's recruited domestically. Yeah. So, legitimate OPSEC hazard of.
Yeah, not to mention like, space HIV and stuff like that. You don't want to get the space AIDS or the space herpes.
Or the space flood.
That too.
I'm back.
Welcome back, Comic Safe. Holy.
Next up is combat cars, and I'll find some pictures of this stuff in a minute to post. But 8 combat car companies, each with a 1-car command section and 4 line platoons of 6 cars each, totaling about 100 people. Think space SDKF said 251, and you won't be a country mile off. They have 3 like of the standard rotary 2-centimeter power guns or whatever they're called, and pack a punch. Section 3. Third section is tanks with 4 tank companies, each with a command tank and 4 line platoons. Each line platoon has 4 tanks.
Okay, so that sounds like a tank company sounds like a standard squadron.
It comes out to 13 tanks, so
yeah, standard squadron.
Yeah, just short, since there's no XO apparently.
Really, no battle captain. Bring on ice pirates. Oof. All right.
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah, like I know right now, like when I was back in, we used to organize it. It was 4 tanks to a troop, 3 troops to a three saber squad. Oh bloody hell! 3 troops to a squadron, plus headquarters, and then squadron head, and then admin, which was fucking huge. Always huge.
Yeah. I presume you were in a tank unit flat that had a cavalry history.
That is correct. It was literally rated in my regiment's name.
Yeah, that explains the absolute naming chaos because platoons, companies, is battalion.
Yeah.
Section 5, infantry. 4 companies, each with 4 platoons. Each platoon contained 4 10-man line squads. 2 2-man tri-barrel teams, jeep mounted. 1 2-man 100-meter mortar team, and a command element. All but heavy weapons teams run 1-man skimmers. Buzz bombs can be used for special purposes, but in general, will support from armored vehicles allowed the Slammers infantry to travel lighter than most bongos. Company total 202. That is wacky, but I can see it. At least by today's standards. Oh, I just realized it's a platoon 100mm mortar.
Oh yeah.
and they are essentially all on what I presume are bikes. Yeah, basically bikes and jeeps. 4 companies of 40-plus man platoons, so a lot of infantry. 3 batteries of self-propelled 200 millimeter rocket howitzers for artillery, Section 5. Each battery contains 6 tubes, 1 command car, and 2 munitions haulers. That seems a bit light on the munitions hauling, but there's also the replacement training reserve, normally totaling 1,500 men, including cadre, 10 tanks, 25 combat cars, 100 trucks. Because Hammer has no permanent base world, training had to be performed wherever the regiment was located. Because men were more valuable than the armored vehicles they rode, and the vehicles were too valuable to run undercrewed or held out of service while replacements were trained. A pool of trained men had to be on hand to fill gaps immediately, until they were needed in combat slots. They acted as ex-drivers, loading crews, camp police, and firebase security. So, a training unit is attached since this is completely autonomous. And note, all personal weapons line infantry were issued 2-centimeter shoulder power guns and grenades. Vehicles and heavy weapons crewmen carried 1-centimeter pistols unless they had picked up shoulder arms of their own. Officers carried pistols or 1-centimeter submachine guns as they desired.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't the fellow there who wrote Hammer Slammer's ex-military as well? Like, wasn't he in Vietnam?
Yeah, he was a tanker in Vietnam.
God, that would have been
If I
hell.
remember, I think he was military intelligence in Vietnam, if I remember correctly.
He was a tanker. I'm
Well-
90% sure he was a tanker.
Either way, yeah, Nigel. I can post up some pictures of my tank in the community post there next week. I'll have to find them, but pretty sure I've still got the couple kicking around with the armor all banged up too.
Which tank?
Leopard 2A6. Same one I drove in Afghanistan.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those were good times. I'll tell you, you never know pucker factor until you're literally driving up a switchback on the side of a mountain on a road literally just as wide as your tank, and you're trying to keep this thing straight and not kicking off the side because it's a long way down.
Yikes.
Yeah, you're doing it a crawl. It is. Go ahead, man. Sorry.
That's pretty awesome, though, like the whole tank thing.
Yeah, it is. Like, I always loved tanks. Like, even when I was little, I always drew pictures of tanks. I used to freaking draw giant ass land ships and all that stuff. Basically, they look like Mario levels, all 250 yards long and just covered more turrets in all different directions than you can shake a stick at, and some crazy little red plumber just running through it.
Amazing.
I have located the foreword that mentions what he did. Because I scored high in the Army language aptitude test, I was sent to a Vietnamese language school at Fort Bliss, then for interrogation training at Fort Meade, finally to Nam, where I was assigned to the I have to flip the page. Military intelligence detachment of a unit I've never heard of, the 11th ACR, the Black Horse Regiment.
11th ACR, Black Horse. I believe that's Armored Cavalry Regiment.
ACR, what it stands for.
Yeah, I believe it's Armored Cav. Or it could be Air Cav. I don't know. Let me just check the old Google box. What does the 11th ACR stand for? Armored Cavalry Regiment?
Fort Irwin, California, although termed an armored recovery, it has been reorganized into a heavy brigade combat team, served in the Philippine-American War, World War II, Vietnam, Cold War, Desert Storm, Scout Platoons, Iraqi Freedom, Op 4. It's seemed decently storied career.
Nice. Do love stuff like that. I love it when they can add a sense of realism into it by injecting some of their own experiences. It kind of really helps sell it. Not a furry. I still build tanks. Yeah,
Oh.
I wish I could still build tanks. I've got toddlers. You don't get to have nice things around toddlers.
You just put it higher up.
I also have cats. Yeah, I put things up high up on cats and they knock them off shelves. Toddler steals them. Toddler wins.
This is why I don't have cats.
Yeah, unfortunately I had the cats before I had the toddlers. So
Oh,
the cats, the one cat was awesome because he was so fat he couldn't jump up on shelves. But now he's slimmed down a little bit and now he jumps up on shelves, knocks shit over.
he's been going to the gym.
Yeah, he hasn't skipped leg day, that's for sure.
I have a dog, but he doesn't bother me, so that's good.
Yeah, I need to get a dog, but I gotta wait for the kid to grow up first.
I have
He eats
two.
paper though, a lot.
My cat does that. He chews on cardboard. He'll literally rip a chunk of cardboard off and then just spit it out onto the floor. And then he'll rip another chunk off and spit it onto the floor. And he'll chew through an entire cardboard box that way. I'll just find it in like little mouse-sized pieces all over the place.
Like occasionally I'll just go into like the washroom and there will just be garbage all over the floor because my dog decided to have a snack.
That's annoying though.
He's pretty big too, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. My mom runs a dog rescue, so I understand dogs knocking shit over all over the place. Jesus Christ. She's like when those things go nuts, it's like a tidal wave of fur.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He's like pretty well behaved. He doesn't eat my Lego or anything. He just likes paper.
I can't wait till my kid gets a little bit older and I can start buying more Lego again.
Legos.
Oh yeah, I am gonna build so much goddamn shit. It's like, yes, we absolutely need to buy this $200 Lego kit for my kid. Yes, she absolutely needs a new Millennium Falcon.
Yes, for your kid. Wink, wink.
Exactly right.
I have so many Legos from when I was a kid. I still have them too.
I remember when I was a kid, Lego came in like you know, the 12 different types of blocks and like 5 different colors. If you had a handful of clears, that was really cool.
I saw like one of those bins. It's like a little red bin. I don't know how to explain it. It's like one of the older sets, like before they had like proper sets.
Yeah, no, that's like what I used to have is like one of the original Lego sets where it just came in a big bin and it was nothing but random shapes and it had like a 4-page freaking little color thing of things you could build.
Yeah, now it's all like custom stuff.
Yeah, I know. Like there was that one channel on YouTube there. He's always making crazy gear shit out of Lego. That stuff blows my mind. Like
Oh yeah, like
go ahead.
like the one that would take like I don't know, it was like a Googleplex amount of years or like a Google amount of years to turn like a full rotation
Yeah.
because it was
Oh,
that
yeah.
geared down.
The math required to pull that off is just absolutely mind-blowing. Oh, God. The world is an amazing place sometimes.
It really is.
I put a picture of the Hammer Slammers thing, although interpretations vary. It's very much like Bolos in that way. It almost never appears in art. And when it does, you're looking at massively different interpretations between designs.
It still seems to keep...
So-
Well, I've already got a hard-on hate for hover tanks. There's a video coming out about that. I'm actually buying my new green screen tomorrow so I can record it. And
I'm hyped.
yeah, it is going to be an absolute just riot. It is going to be it's going to be ridiculous anyway. But I like how they have actually managed to keep a lot of the concepts that make a tank, but still make it relevant for its battlefield that it's in. Like you see, it's still got a sloped profile. It's got the ability. Go ahead. Yeah.
On the a lot of the more, shall we say, pure interpretations, it is essentially, it looks like an upturned like kitchen bowl. It curves down and it almost touches the ground with the skirts so that it can keep in the air. And yes, notably, it has vents that it uses to suck in air and blow it down.
Yeah.
But I think that's just an accepted weakness of the design in the time. Also, for weapons, these things are essentially using the usual sort of high velocity plasma laser launcher type thing.
They can hit. They can hit
Wait.
satellites.
So are you
They
saying
can-
it's a wait? Are you saying it's a bolo? Because it's a bull.
It is like a bolo that needs 3 people or 4, 5.
I
So
think it was
is it-
2 people.
anything up to crude bolos were, I believe, up to Mark 13 or to 15 was the last like multi-crude bolo.
No, the Mark II was the last one. The Mark II was the one that had 1-man crew. The Mark III had about like 2-man crew, one for artillery, the other one for usual tank stuff.
No, in canon, there's a bolo in the teens because there's a specific story where they came across a colony of man and they'd passed down generational knowledge through song or something like that on how to operate the various weapon stations on a bolo because it required a multi-crew because the AI core was dead.
Ooh, that's a big crew.
I can't remember what that
the
story
AI
is. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
These things also have one of the most terrifying but realistic abilities in sci-fi, and that is regimental fire direction. As in, you can have both the main guns, the rotary minigun on top, all of it can be slaved to a central fire computer and do anti-artillery fire with 100% like kill rate if it has enough guns to work with.
That is actually a extraordinarily valid, awesome, and ridiculously OP ability. I love it.
Yeah, so essentially if you have a company of these, you don't need an anti-aircraft gun. You just need a computer strong enough to run it. And you have essentially...
And enough clear ground and horizon.
Yeah.
What's the
Although realistically, unless you need to shoot through a mountain, the gun will clear the way.
Okay, that's a fact. So you're saying like this thing will shoot satellites out. So what would you say, like low orbit?
It can. In one of the bullets, it shot down a satellite with this main gun.
So
usually, regimental fire direction is confined to the tri-barrel on top for anti-artillery fire. But yes, if you use the main gun, you can. It's quoted as blowing up a tailings pile in one book. So essentially, a gravel pile. It turned into lava and slide.
Excellent. So it actually works like a plasma weapon. It actually melts shit. It just doesn't blow things up.
Yeah, it is quoted as leaving streaks on your vision, and yeah, it does generate a good deal of heat. Like notably the plastic like hockey puck cases that these things use. When they fire the gun repeatedly, they're they'll be smoking and melting as they come out because that's how much heat there is.
Yeah, heat dissipation is
also the whole.
Sorry, go nuts, man.
Yeah. Also, the whole thing is made of iridium for some reason, and I don't know why.
Hang on. Let me see. I'm looking at the.
It's because iridium has it's rather good at dissipating heat, but it's also extraordinarily rare. That's why they put it on spark plugs.
That would explain it, because essentially it uses the halo excuse of we found a whole planet of it.
Ah, so okay.
I mean, there's
Are
a
you-
planet made of oil.
Well, then America would invade it.
Like so many. I think it's like 10 light years away.
Well, not even, man. Like, what is it? Saturn's moon Titan is essentially made of gasoline.
Its surface atmosphere is almost entirely made of methane.
Yeah, methane, ethanes, and several long chain polycarbonates.
Yeah, so essentially its atmosphere is natural gas.
Yeah. So it can look forward to liberation in the far to near future. Perhaps some regime change.
USA,
Okay.
USA.
So there is a minor problem with that. Jupiter casts radiation fields that are so big, I think they fuck with Saturn's moons.
They actually do. What is it? I believe Jupiter's magnetic field, or the magnetosphere in Jupiter, is the largest structure in the entire solar system, outside of the heliosphere.
Yeah, the gravitation, like the magnetic field protects Earth.
Yeah, but as it turns out, it also traps some of the, shall we say, very radioactive particles, which wind up creating the Van Allen belts, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, but the Van Allen belts are rather thin in a lot of places and almost pretty much non-existent in others. It's not it's not an invincible force field. It's a they're almost like thin threads and bands that surround the Earth.
Yeah, but I think around Jupiter they have a good deal more
yeah.
power.
Yeah, well, the one around Earth I think is something like 0.7, or Earth's magnetic field I believe is what, 0.75 Tesla or something like that, and Jupiter's is something in the range of several tens of thousands. That's right, Nigel Smith. Iridium is the least common element on Earth because it's mostly deposited through meteor impact.
So, again, space mining.
Yep, space mining. What is it? There are asteroids in the belt that are basically entirely made of precious metals and rock. What was it? There's something like a multi-trillion-dollar asteroid sitting out there. It would literally reduce the world's if it were brought back to Earth and put into circulation. It would reduce the cost of gold to basically nothing.
Yep. And so it is never... Although what I think is the most interesting way to make tank armor is molecular 3D printing. Essentially what the Covenant use, ostensibly.
Yes, I was going to say that. I was listening to something on that too. Shit. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Because it's like laying different fabrics on top of each other to make fabric armor. You get the different properties of each and how they intermingle, and you can make really weird shit with it that has properties of banana, that has crazy properties. So you can make armor that's cannot fracture and takes hits and dissipates heat insanely well.
I have it on my documents somewhere. Okay, here we go. Nanolaminate.
That would probably be the technical term.
Yeah.
Because it's 1 to 2 atom thick sheets of material layered on top of each other or something like that.
Yeah, I remember it was installation 00 now. was the one that explained it. He said it was basically it's why UNSC couldn't identify their armor or what it was made of, because every time they scanned it, it came up with something different.
Because it's like having something different printed on a stack of pieces of paper.
Yep, that would be definitely one way to improve your armor. But then you've also got to factor in pockets, stress patterns.
Presumably, if you have the technology to do this, you've essentially cracked computing wide the fuck open. Because
Yeah.
if you could use this technology today, even experimentally, to make things like computer chips, it would essentially upend computer processing as it is.
Yep. That would, oof. Yeah. All right, yeah, I'm definitely reaching the peak here. Yep. That is still a beautiful picture. Shimmering Sword does nice work.
I know. Like, only good image of a bolo on the internet.
Yeah, it's by Shimmering Sword. And then there's like that old basically Model Bash 3D like early 2000s 3D rendered images. That was all there's ever on with them. That sucked.
And some of the book cover art, but like, yeah, it's there's 2 pixel art images, and one of them is based on Shimmering Sword's design, which I would say is basically what the Mark 33 looks like,
I'd
because
say
it's just so good.
yeah. It is I would say probably the most accurate representation of it.
Well, it actually makes sense because it's like low to the ground and like has like a wide firing base and everything.
Yeah, and it also puts and for like the vast majority of arcs, you can get at least, for all arcs around, you can get at least 2 main guns on it.
Yep, that is
Oh, the,
that is actually
the
quite true.
third below,
I hadn't considered that. Yeah.
the third below the thing is raised up a bit, so I think it could actually fire forward.
What, the rear turret?
Yeah, because it's raised up a little bit.
I would think either the barrel of the rear turret would interfere with the artillery tubes and the missile silos, or B, that the heat generated from the hellbore would fuck up things on the back deck as you fired over it. Regardless of how cool a triple like battleship salvo forward of 200 centimeter hellbore would.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with iron on this one. That is that to me seems like it would definitely spot weld all the missile hatches shut anyway. Probably flash fry all the tubes.
Well, it depends on their armor, right? Bolo armor's like insane though.
Yeah.
It could withstand like one hellbore shot without shield.
Yeah, but it's still
Like
that's still basically firing a glancing blow over your entire back deck, though.
well, it's just the muzzle flash though, basically. Like it's not that much, you know what I mean?
It's still a lot of force.
Yeah.
Like, you still don't fire. Like I still won't fire my tank gun over my back deck. You know, it's
Well, yeah.
It's
general. Yeah. It's. I would say if you have a Leopard 2 A6 or 7, that might be fine. But with an Abrams, yeah, you're coming a bit close with the end of the gun and the start of the deck.
Yeah, but the A6, you can shorten the gun by about 3.5 feet. We can actually take it down to operate in urban environments. So when you shorten the barrel, she literally just sits at the edge of the back deck, pretty much.
Does it have a tax stamp?
It does not, because it wasn't made in America. 'Twas made in Germany.
So I would presume that's more of like a transport and logistics thing, so it fits in the same template as a 2A5 or a 2A4.
Yeah,
Although urban environments,
the
I suppose it
A6M's
would be.
got the extended barrel if you want for anti-armor warfare. Like if we're actually going to go, what is it, like toe-to-toe with, like, say, peer-on-peer armor anyway. But I still wouldn't want to do that in a Leopard because it's still got that press here to win button right up front for starters. And two, realistically, it's all depends on how good your gunner is, and your day's always going to get punched eventually.
Question about the Hellboys.
Yeah, man.
What color would the Hellboy beam be? I know it's like
honestly, if I had to hazard a guess, based on the temperatures that they're talking about, I'd probably say like really intense blue into ultraviolet almost.
I would say yes on the blue, but like a blue edged beam going pure white at the center.
Yeah, it's quite possible too. Like, I honestly don't think that the human eye could probably register that level of intensity anyway without like permanently going blind, no matter how far away you're looking at it. Like, that is an intense amount of radiation, like, packed into a very, very narrow area.
I believe it is a literal sun being fired out of the gun. So
yeah, pretty much. It's a directed nuclear blast.
So it would be like a star, basically, like a blue star, I guess.
Essentially, because
yeah,
they're talking like 15 million degree plasma blasts. So yeah, you're in the range of, like, you know, blue supergiants and shit.
yeah. If I had to hazard a guess, your vision would go basically entirely dark, and your pupils would shrink to pinpoints. Means for minutes or something, and your eyes might open up again, but even then, you generally do not want to be outside a bolo if it has to fire its main armament.
Well, if you're on the ground, you're probably dead, to be honest.
Like in the novels, they had the guys in power armor around bolos.
Consider the fact that they probably have a, like, either they're not actually looking through the helmet. The head is kind of a sensor ball that they control, or they have like Master Chief visor where he can stare at a nuke and feel nothing. Basically, has flash lenses on there.
Essentially, the only time that power armor is described, it's described more or less like the Cyclops from Halo Wars, but it's all armored. Like, there's no view screen. It's just sensors.
Yeah, the Cyclops is a beast.
Because I believe that was Operation Seed Cord. One of the ships is invaded by a Malconian special ops team, and they managed to. One of the bolos manages to distract them long enough to get the Marines to allow their power armor on, and they just rampage through the fucking ship, tearing the fucking Malconians in half.
I totally want power armor like that. Like, we need power armor like that more in sci-fi, like mainstream sci-fi.
Yeah. What is it? The best example I've seen of something like that, although they don't exactly get to tear people in half because dramatic tension, is Starship Troopers, but not the live-action movie, the animated movies.
Yes. Those ones actually fucking are a little closer to the source material.
Considering the fact that the power armor can, equip heavy weapons and whatnot, and we see a guy basically bolt a minigun to the bottom of his bottomless assault rifle.
Yeah. I watched Invasion, that one. I thought it was all right.
Trader of Mars was pretty good too.
Invasion reminded me of Halo.
Well, it's because they went like was it like closer to the anime while keeping a lot of the main elements and characterizations of the series people were familiar with.
Yeah.
So that, and it was the only way Casper Van Dien could probably draw a paycheck and residuals.
I don't know.
Well, let's face it. I think that was the only thing he was really ever in that went anywhere, right? Like, have you seen him in any other movies?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, there you have it. All right, so I'm going to probably wrap this up this week there, guys. Because I am bloody exhausted, so I'm probably going to go to bed literally like 10 minutes right after this. And I am going to do this again on Sunday night. And hopefully we can go for a little bit longer.
All right.
Sound good, guys?
Yeah.
So, wait. So next Sunday?
This Sunday coming. So it's the 4th today. This, I don't know, Sunday's the 6th, I guess. Yeah, Sunday's the 6th. Yeah, the 6th.
Uh, as a send off, I just found a image of the prototype from Halo with more weapons.
Did you just fire it? Oh, you did fire it in the
Oh,
Discord.
yeah.
All right, let's.
Prototype is really cool. Like, it's a really good short.
It is.
Yeah. I used the image of prototype on one of my Bolo versus videos there as a stand-in for freaking Concordiat power armor, I believe.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. God, that was such a good freaking. Halo Legends was like awesome.
Yeah.
My favorite's probably Homecoming.
Nah, I think mine's the Duel.
I should see that one. I haven't seen it yet.
It's good.
Yeah. It's all samurai and shit. It's awesome. Anyway, guys, I'm going to pack her in. I'm exhausted, all right? So, everyone have a good night.
You
Chat-
too. Take
chat-
care.
You two guys, and we'll see y'all Sunday.
See ya.
All right. Sounds good.
Peace out.